And welcome back to NBA Sesh. How about those Knicks? Just the other night, we were complaining. We were saying the Knicks suck. And in some cases, I'm still not convinced that they're better than they were. It was a wild game. They were blowing them out. And out of nowhere, the Heat come back. It was a 2-point game in the fourth quarter. But thank God the Knicks held on and they won. Honestly, I don't know if it was luck or they just wanted it more for this night, but it really seemed like they struggled. And I just really don't like that Brunson and Quentin
Grimes.
Grimes played the whole game. I don't like that at all. That's one of my biggest problems with Tom Thibodeau.
We have no one else.
Doesn't matter, man. I mean, you play Deuce McBride a little bit, at least 5 minutes, 6, 7 minutes.
That could the whole game could go a different direction.
So you agree that Brunson should have played all game then?
Well, this is the playoffs. This is different. This is where legends become legends and all stars, and superstars happen. I don't know how the saying goes, but there's like some sort of saying where uh you become an all-star in the regular season and like you become I don't know, I'm definitely butchering that, but if that's what it takes to win, then you got to put everything on the line. If not during the playoffs when it counts the most, then when?
Well,
Especially the way Brunson's been playing. Without him, we probably wouldn't even be in the
but
playoffs.
there was a time we were up by 20 points. I don't
That's
know.
true.
I
That's
don't know.
true.
I don't know. But here's the thing. The Knicks still struggled and Miami's really good. It's like what happened? I think we I don't want to take away from the Knicks. The Knicks did a great job drawing fouls. They put Gabe Vincent in foul trouble, Kyle Larry in foul trouble. You know, they did a great job with that. But they kept, they just hit their shots, Miami Heat, and they didn't hit them as much today. And if they did, we'd be screwed.
Yeah.
What's that other guy's name? In the
Martin?
fourth, he had a crazy fourth quarter.
Martin?
I think so. No, not
Duncan
Martin. Not
Robinson?
Martin. Not Martin. Robinson. What's his
Yeah.
name?
The Duncan Robinson.
Duncan Robinson. Where do they get these guys from? How do they get
Well,
so good out of
he
nowhere?
actually was good, I think, like 2 seasons ago. Then he got a big contract, and he kind of just like sucked this whole season. But what I want to know, and maybe like Heat fans, because obviously we don't watch the Heat on a regular basis, but maybe Heat fans can answer this: Why? Why does the Heat? Why does this team suck during the regular season? Like why were they not playing and not like if they played like this versus the Bucks and the Knicks like the whole season, why not be like top, fourth or third seed? Right? Like you're in the play-in and all of a sudden now you're playing like a superstar team.
Well, no, I could defend that. I mean, sometimes these things just happen. I remember when Doug Collins was coaching the 76ers and Andre Iguodala was their star. They also started out terribly. And then they just turned it around and they became a very good competitive team.
That's true. I mean,
Same thing with New York. Ever since we got Josh Hart in the trade, like you would think Josh Hart is a role player, right? He great role player, but this one role player changed everything for us in a great way. And Miami, who knows? Maybe it was Kevin Love coming there, that veteran presence. Who knows that whatever he brought something.
and speaking of Josh Hart, he played only 9 minutes, I believe. Definitely foul trouble, didn't have his rhythm. I think that hopefully he comes out even stronger the next game and gives us that boost. but quickly's also hurt, so that's why Grimes had to play that many minutes.
And
Like,
Brunson.
yeah, yeah, Grimes and Brunson. I personally do feel like McBride could contribute a few minutes a game. Like, he plays with confidence. He's a great defender. I don't think you need experience for that. But Brunson is just playing on a whole different level right now, and Barrett was attacking the rim too. I think he's better. He's best when he does that. Like, shoot less, attack more.
You know, I feel terrible about all the bad things I've been saying about RJ Barrett. And I just want to say, I was a strong, strong supporter of RJ Barrett ever since he got drafted. I believed in him every step of the way. The only time I started to question him was recently, honestly, really recently. But he really stepped up. I'm very grateful um, for his performance.
He's
And
been playing great all series.
yeah, and I got to tell you this. What a wild night for the NBA. The Knicks won, kept it alive, made it competitive. Golden State won against the Lakers, kept it alive, made it competitive. Now, I will tell you this about both teams, all right? Both series, I should say. If the Knicks win in Miami, if they win in Miami, I think they're going to take the series. Same thing goes for Golden State. If they win in Los Angeles, they're going to take that series
Dude.
because Miami and LA have everything to lose now. They were up 3-1. 3-1, okay? At this point, the Knicks and Golden State, especially the Knicks, they just seemed like they were depleted and they just seemed like they're done. And then they came back and they won. And if they win again on the road, now those teams, Miami and LA, are going to panic. They're going to panic, and it's possible that they could lose. We've seen it happen. I'm sorry. I just want to say this one last thing. I from the top of my head, we've seen it happen with Oklahoma City Thunder when Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant were up 3-1 against the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors came back and won the series, and the same thing with Cleveland. Cleveland was down 3-1 against the Warriors, and they came back and they won the series.
First of all, that would be a crazy time for the NBA, and I think this playoffs, these playoffs in general, are the most exciting they've been. I think for a long time, because this is what people want. They don't want the
Sweeps.
usual Golden State going to finals every season, but unfortunately, as much as I want to believe that, I do believe the Knicks could definitely go to Game 7 and win. The chances, it's like 89% when the team is 3-1 or something like that, or like a very high percent chance that they usually move on. Closeout games are the hardest. They're the hardest to actually close out. But yeah, I mean, I think that, Golden State, they haven't really been doing anything that different. I think that they obviously shoot a lot of threes and they don't attack a lot, whereas Lakers attack a lot and tire them out. And Klay Thompson hasn't been doing well in this series. He's been off. And if you live by the three, you die by the three. Curry had a bad mistake made in the last game. He was also he dropped, like, he had a monster game, triple double, but he was like shooting like 30% from the 3-point line or something like that. That's his bread and butter. So shots have to fall for them. But Wiggins had a great comeback game finally. And yeah, I'm excited I hope it goes to Game 7 just as a fan. But
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm just really happy with the Knicks so far. I mean, I always want them to do better, of course, but I'm so happy that Randall stepped up. Finally, he had a great game. And I will tell you this. I'm just happy because the Knicks made the playoffs. They won the first round, and now in the second round, they at least won 2 games. Like, that's great. You know what I mean? But against a team like Miami, it would be great if they went to 7 games and even won. But let's just see what happens. And all I want to say is Shaq in your face. Shaq was saying in the halftime show he thinks Miami's going to win. And it's great that the Knicks upset
Well, I think Shaq is just a little biased, but
because Shaq was a former Heat member.
yeah, and he won with them. But what I'm gonna say is this: so Barkley was saying that there's no one could guard Randall, and Randall hasn't been playing that well, I think, overall this series. But Bam is definitely a great defender. Now, I think that there's definitely something with the offensive schemes, like I said in our last podcast, like it's a little too tight. You know, if Thibodeau's not known for his offense, but if like the Knicks kind of like loosen that, faucet a little bit, let it flow more, and kind of get Mitchell Robinson somehow involved in alley oops, because let's face it, he has a terrible offensive game. He has no footwork, no backs of basket, no inside game, nothing. But
Bad free throw shooter, although he came through for us tonight.
bad free throw shooter, yeah. So I think what I'm trying to say is that, and this one dude said this on TikTok, on one of the videos, was that like Knicks are actually beating expectations. I think that every time Knicks like gets a certain level, we always expect them to do better. Like, oh, now you got to beat the Heat. Oh, now you have to go into the third
Right.
round. Now you have to win the championship. And it's like they're beating expectations, but that's why I keep saying like, why then? Why was the Heat a playing seed at number 7? Then like that doesn't make sense, you know?
No, I told you why. What do you mean? I told you why. They had a terrible first whatever half, I guess, and then they didn't even get Kevin Love in a trade, right? Like they picked he cleared waivers and he went
Yeah,
there or something like
yeah.
that, or they just signed him as a free agent. I don't know if Kevin Love is the reason, but for whatever reason, they just turned it around on the last minute. And I think they said it actually in the TNT halftime show that because of their struggles and because of their fight in the play-in tournament and all that to get into the play-in tournament and fight in the play-in tournament, because of all that, they were in playoff mode before they kind of got a head start. You
That's
know,
true. That they were just like the Lakers. Actually, they were like, I was saying in one of my clips on TikTok that like Lakers will be gassed, so they won't be able to actually beat the Warriors because they played hard against the Grizzlies. They were in playoff mode for like the last 2 months. I think someone else also mentioned this somewhere. It was like 2 months and being in playoff mode. Anthony Davis going down, getting injured, people stepping up. Same thing with the Heat. So I think that has a lot to do with it. But what I love about the Laker and Golden State series is that they're two polar opposite teams where Lakers attack and Warriors shoot, and Warriors have no inside game. I mean, no inside presence. Looney's good, but he can't guard AD because AD plays in the perimeter, outside. It's like you can't guard him like that. And what's his name? Draymond Green is too small. It's
and
like
he
shooting
slowed
over.
down.
Yeah, it's like shooting over a chair. But you know what? I gotta give props to Draymond though. He's been doing.
He's been hustling.
He's been playing like the old Draymond. I gotta give him props.
Yeah. Well, they should have perhaps not gotten rid of James Wiseman. They needed the size. They need a body to
Yeah,
get AD.
yeah. But
They thought they could probably just shoot their way out of this one, just like they did all these years.
AD has been playing more consistent though recently. But besides for his injuries and sometimes inconsistency, he's one of the best big men in the league.
Yeah, and honestly, we're rooting for the Knicks to go all the way, but if they don't go all the way, I don't know why. I'm just rooting for Denver. Denver all the way. I love the way they play their basketball so flawlessly. The way they beat the Phoenix Suns last night. They're just playing fantastic basketball. Everybody is just so flows so nicely. The coach is fantastic, and I think that it would be so nice to see them win. Because Kevin Durant going to Phoenix. It's like you have Chris Paul and you have Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton was supposed to be a star, and then now you put Kevin Durant in there. Yeah, let's kind of have a little super team going. And Denver, I don't even think Denver doesn't. I don't get that vibe that they're a super team.
Yeah, they're not, but they have such a well put together team. Like I think like Michael Porter Jr. could be even better of a like scorer, and I guess he's just playing in his role. Aaron Gordon is like the X factor.
Oh yeah, that was one
Good
of the best
defense.
trades that they made.
You know,
The other
he'll
like
score
what last
15
year?
points a night. Um or like he'll do whatever he's asked to do. But actually, you know who I want to see besides for the Knicks, of course. I want to see Philly versus the Nuggets. Embiid versus the Joker in the
So
finals.
of course we want to see the Knicks versus the Nuggets, right? Even though
Obviously.
the Nuggets will destroy the Knicks in the finals
Oh,
this year,
crush them.
but
But you never know.
realistically, we have Miami, and then we have Philly versus Celtics, right?
Yeah.
I would like to see that Philly versus the Nuggets. Yeah, I agree with you on that because I feel like they're both those Cinderella stories. I don't know if like it's weird to say or not. Like that's how I feel. I don't know. There's just something really magical about these two teams this season, and I can't explain it. And Philly, I just feel like Philly had their struggles, and they were not really the favorites to go to the finals. Everybody thought Milwaukee and Celtics; those are the two teams. And yeah, I would like to see. And James Harden was right. People were criticizing him for not being the old James Harden, but when he was the old James Harden, they criticized him, saying you can't win a championship like that. So I just want to see James Harden do well, and I think he's finally in a good situation, one that he hasn't been since he was in OKC. I think.
Yeah, and what I like is that he kind of took a step backward and became that official Robin to Joel Embiid, who's the clearly like a better player, and he embraced that and he steps up when he has to, but he's still great. Like yeah, people are like, oh, he's washed up, like he's still mad good.
You know,
I would love to have him on the Knicks.
not everybody can be a Batman. James Harden, one of the best, superstar, fantastic numbers, excellent, exciting, explosive player. But clearly, he can't be the Batman. He cannot be on the driver's seat. And he's doing fantastic in being Joel Embiid's Robin. Joel Embiid's a fantastic Batman. And I think in the Knicks, like Jalen Brunson is fantastic, and I think right now he's proving that he could be a good Batman. I'm just trying to figure it out with Julius Randle, though. Is Julius Randle not willing? Is he trying? Is there like a power struggle? Is he not willing to be the Robin? Like if LeBron James came to New York, let's say hypothetically, then Julius Randle would be like, okay, you're Batman, I'm Robin. I get
That's
it.
different though, because I see what you're saying, but that's like who's the Robin on the Lakers? Is it AD?
It's AD, clearly.
It's AD, which is pretty amazing because LeBron is 38, right? But
Well,
LeBron's LeBron.
LeBron is a unique whatever.
He's a unicorn.
Definitely. Yeah, he if anything, he's the
He is the
unicorn, not
unicorn.
Porzingis.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, the Porzingis was never maybe, but LeBron was more of a unicorn because look, we had our greats, right? We had Michael Jordan, we had Kobe, right? And I still think they're better than LeBron. It's an unpopular opinion, but LeBron within himself is just like an extremely unique player that I think the league's history hasn't seen before.
Yeah, you're right.
If his mental toughness was in par with Michael Jordan, then he could have probably been the best player that ever played the game. He would have been the GOAT. But
Well, I think I don't want to get into this discussion, but
because we've been through it a million times.
yeah, but well, I think for Porzingis, not to get off topic here, but He actually kind of is like an AD and Nowinski combined, or I think what he could have been,
Well,
because the defense of AD and the agility and then the shooting of Nowinski and him being tall as hell. So that's a monster type player. You don't have that in the league right now. Maybe for that new guy that's coming in, Wham Bam, whatever his name is,
the Porzingis is
Benaya.
just he's just injury prone.
Yeah,
If he stabilizes, then perhaps he'll be a really he'll be a really good player. But injuries keep getting in his way. That's the problem. I'm just really upset he couldn't play with Luka Doncic. Honestly, I think
yeah,
that would have been a great duo.
yeah. And I'm questioning now Luca, because it's like he couldn't play with him. Brunson didn't, couldn't had a breakout season while in the playoffs. Brunson stepped up in the playoffs again. This is not his first the rodeo, but when Luca was down, right when he went down, he stepped up, and that brings me back to that Robin and Batman conversation with Embiid and Harden, because it's that classic duo of the big man and the shooting guard, and that's why I think like Kyrie and Luca didn't really work out. CJ McCollum and Lillard, even though he's not on that level, CJ McCollum, no offense, but like sometimes just having two shooters is not going to work out. That's why I don't buy into the Suns. I don't think their that style is going to work. But yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought.
Hmm. Well, I think with that,
Oh, actually, I do want to say something
go
else.
ahead.
So someone else also was saying, replying to one of our TikToks, is that, and NBA Sesh on NBA underscore Sesh on TikTok, that the Knicks aren't as talented as we think, and they have a point. Like I said, we have higher expectations because we're fans, but you have young players with no experience. You got guys that are inconsistent like quickly, and he's injured now. You know, the bench is kind of not as deep as one may think. So, Josh Hart, as a great of a player he is, he's not a good shooter or scorer necessarily. Um, RJ Barrett is still kind of finding his footing, and Randall is not a true Robin. I think Randall's, to answer your question, if Randall was playing LeBron, Randall, I do believe now is like a third best player on a, or
So what
fourth
do we
best player on a
call
championship
what do
team.
we call a third option? So Batman is the first option, Robin's the second option.
He's like a Catwoman.
Well, no, I was gonna say Batgirl, but that's kind of disrespectful. So maybe we could say he's the Bat Boy or something, or Alfred. But
Alfred, that's even more.
but I will say, yeah, I think they're right. I think the Knicks don't have a deep bench. Hartenstein, I think, is not bad. I think Josh Hart's amazing. Quickly, yeah, Toppin. Quickly and Toppin are good, but I think they're just really young. I think that's what's going on there. But and then Sims, I'm a big fan of Sims. I don't know why, but even if he did play, if he wasn't injured, and if he did play, if he was in the rotation, he's still also very young. But you know who could have been that amazing player to complement everybody else? Evan Fournier, and it's too bad that he's just not that player. And we need to get one more guy on the bench. And if we had a star, I mean, maybe we don't even need a star. Maybe Jalen Brunson's that star, and maybe RJ can just get better, and we'll be good. But I think we also need to upgrade our center. I love Mitchell Robinson, but I kind of got turned off when he was complaining that he doesn't have a big enough role with the Knicks and he wants to be his own man. I don't know. I just don't see if he has a commitment with us.
Yeah, and like we said before about that, he has no zero offense. Like you could do a pick and roll and like throw him the ball to alley oop it, but other than that, what else? Like he has never shown that he has any kind of offensive arsenal in this game. Um, what I was gonna say was about Evan Fournier. Yeah, I mean he just had such a bad season. It's like how do you trust to put him in the playoffs? Kind of roll. He was actually sick today, but it would have been cool to see when the Knicks were up by like 20 if he was able to play and kind of get some shots in, and then like maybe that could have had a big turnaround for him. Same with Derrick Rose. But yeah, man, like the Knicks are just missing consistent shooting. They don't have a good like flamethrower 3-point shooter. Like the Heat have a few of those guys.
They have Gabe Vincent. What's that other guy? You
Duncan
mentioned.
Robinson.
Okay, Duncan Robinson. Then the other guy, Clark
No, Martin.
Martin. Sorry,
Caleb
Martin.
Martin.
What is it?
Caleb, I think.
Caleb Martin. Those three guys, right? Kyle Lowry has been.
Larry is a good.
And we got lucky that he missed a few of those shots in the end, and that he was in foul trouble.
Yeah,
okay.
Kevin Love.
He's
also
Jimmy Butler.
Well, Jimmy Butler is not really a good 3-point shooter, but he still could score. He only
No, but I meant like that's why they call him Jimmy Buckets, though, right? Because he's a good scorer.
he comes up big in the playoffs. Yeah, he could score, but he only took 12 shots today.
How many? He had like 9 assists, though.
Yeah, but
Jimmy Butler's such a great player, and honestly, it's such a shame that the Knicks didn't value him as a free agent and they didn't want to sign him. I heard that they didn't want him, but who knows if he wanted
RJ.
But who knows if he even wanted to come to the Knicks? Maybe.
They're kind of similar players, but I think Grimes is definitely up and coming. Like if he works on his shooting, he's going to be an excellent player for us.
Yeah. I mean, if we had Jimmy Butler, he could have been a small forward and RJ would have been the shooting guard.
Yeah.
And this is before Grimes came into the picture. But listen, I think that we're getting better. I think we might need a little upgrade at center, get a bench player, another being role player for the bench, and I guess just develop our young. And we're doing pretty well for what we are. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Yeah, if the Knicks could pull out another victory, obviously they have no choice. If they lose, they lose. But if they end up losing in 7, I'm not gonna be disappointed though.
I mean, I'll be disappointed, but
if it's like a close loss, if it's like
Yeah.
a blowout, then yeah, I would be disappointed.
yeah. All right.
Knicks in 7 though.
On that note, until next time.